Go.
Hello everyone, welcome back to DBW. I am Jen, that is L, and that is Pip. We are DBW, and today we're here to talk about the reign of Tiffany Stratton. Now, we've been very vocal about how you feel about Tiffany. This entire year, we've been very vocal. Since she won the title in January, we've said many times how we felt about her. And we will do so today now that her reign is over. And let's talk about what's next for Tiffany. Okay? So, Tiffany Stratton became Miss Money in the Bank. Bullied to Nia Jax, betrayed her, cashed in, became champion at the top of the year. Since then, she's had considerably, how do I put this? Considerably low bar performances with the title. And we're going to talk about all that more today, guys. So if you like what we see, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think about Tiffany down in the comment section. Follow our links so you can find all of our socials and everything, and we continue the conversation there. But look, for now, let's get to Tiffany. This tweet here by Ray, and again, don't go to talk to anyone about any of this. We're just here to talk about the tweet, okay? It says they threw her to the wolves, had her engage in dull feuds and meaningless storylines, but she still made it work. Huge props to Tiffany on her title reign. Now, while Ray's being very positive here, I'll give them that. They're very positive. I have to tell you, when you have a dull feud, it's dull because the people in it are dull. Now, the storyline can be meaningless. That's fine. You can make go on meaningless storylines. They've done it before. But if the feud is dull, it comes from the champion and the contender. They're the exact reason how they're the people that have to get over, not the writers. They had to get over. And I don't think they threw her to the wolves per se. I think Tiffany just lost a lot of faith, a lot of good faith, because if you remember, she was very popular when she first got to the main roster. People really, really liked Tiffany. They thought she did really great. If you remember the Chamber, the year before she joined, she was very over in that match. And then
Everyone loved her.
And people still cheer her to this day. So what wolves were there? But no, this is just by wolves you mean people who were just critical of her performances and how she was as champion. Then sure, she had to deal with them like everyone else does. Tiffany's title reign to me was horrendous. It was horrendous. It was terrible. Terrible. It was so bad. And I'm going to make it very clear that this is not a diss on Tiffany. More so was as her conduct. It's a diss at her conduct. Her conduct as champion was unacceptable. The fact that she had it for this long just goes to show that some people appreciate it more than others. And if we can actually remember what happened when this title reign, we can actually talk about it and actually come to an actual conclusion and consensus. El, you start off with that. What did you think about Tiffany's reign, at least in the early phases to the end?
Okay. Initially, I was actually excited. Tiffany Stratton, actually enjoyed her as a performer. In NXT, I thought that she had potential to be something special. I don't want to say I was wrong, but I was wrong. Tiffany, her reign as a totality was like it was like eating peas. You know, when you were younger, your parents, they made you eat vegetables that you didn't like,
Yeah.
but you had to do it. And if you didn't do it, you had to sit at the table for hours. Has anybody had that?
Until you finish that plate. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You ain't leaving till you eat that
I don't
food.
think I've had hours,
Yeah.
but I definitely know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what her reign was like. I was sick of it early on, and I was forced to endure it more and more for hours and hours, for months and months. Jeez, she has the personality of a cardboard, to say the least. And I know it sounds pretty mean, but I believe to be true. She is not good. She is awful on the mic, and she's, to be honest, mediocre in the ring. Like, she's not bad, but she isn't great neither. I don't think she deserves nearly as much praise in the ring that she gets, personally. But I will give her credit for, I guess, lacing up the boots and soldiering on. I guess if I can give you a silver lining, she at least completed the task.
She definitely did
She at
go
least did
on the
that.
show.
Yeah, she definitely did that. So, but I think that the feud with Naomi, I mean not Naomi, Jade was terrible. I think it lasted way too long. I also think that Tiffany did an awful job in putting Jade over because that was her role. She was the more over party, and she was supposed to put Jade over. But I don't think that happened. I think Jade kind of just got over because of her, because of herself, not
Yeah.
because of Tiffany. And then don't even get me started on the Tiffany and Charlotte thing. That fiasco was god awful. I thought that that was complete disrespect to Charlotte, a legend, regardless of how you feel about her as a person or even her title reigns under Vince. She is a legend and she is one of the greatest women's wrestlers of all time. And you could argue she's the best. It's an argument. And I thought that Tiffany was unprofessional. I thought that she I thought that she was being I really thought she was being a mean girl, to be honest. I thought that she actually believed that she was bigger than the program at a certain point.
Yeah,
And she's not.
I heard that Triple H is really mad about that situation, and that they were actually going to try to take the title off her, or at least I heard that that's something that a punishment that would have been
On the table.
on the table.
Okay.
That did not happen. She actually kept it for another 7 months after that.
Exactly.
Yeah, that she did.
It's like, and none of it was ever engaging. If once Tiffany is your only star, you just know SmackDown was going downhill quickly because there was no one else that was a valid contender for her other than Jade Cargill. Bianca Belair's injured. Liv Morgan's not here. Naomi's out right now. There's a lot of people who could have been, and I'm glad Naomi, cashed in and got the the war title away from Rhea and Io. But man, I wish she just cashed on Tiffany. I really do. Like, we could have got the WWE Women's Championship together a lot sooner.
Yeah, we definitely could have. Oh man, and let's see. Like, I think what gave Tiffany a lot of interest early on was honestly just her relationship with Nia Jax.
Yeah.
But not even just her character shift from I did this and now it's Tiffy time. It's just even your entire reign is just your catchphrase, but you don't even have a character for your catchphrase to bounce off of, so people can't really get behind it at all.
It is a skill because Tiffany doesn't strike me as a person who has a lot of in ring mic ability. Like Elle said, she doesn't have a lot of ability in the mic. And I think that's just her personality isn't all there. I guess I don't trying to sound mean when I say this. It's it's something that you expect from really pretty women. Like they're pretty, so they don't have to really talk too much. And Tiffany kind of strikes me as one of those who doesn't really have to speak. She's
not charismatic.
Yeah, it's just the charisma factor. And of course, while he's not knocking her, I just think that once you have that problem, because we see a lot of superstars, charisma becomes a factor. You kind of have to be able to have it to even hope to stand out, and the audience is looking to be entertained. Like, yeah, you can wrestle, and she can wrestle. At least in my opinion, she can wrestle. It only takes you so far, because you don't have to have flips or none of that stuff to be successful. Roman Reigns doesn't flip, Randy Orton doesn't flip, John Cena doesn't flip, Stone Cold Steve Austin doesn't flip. None of that happens. It's all based on their charisma and character. And while you can have a subtle character, it doesn't have to be super loud and boisterous. Say like a Rick Boogs or a Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
That's a crazy pool right there.
That is it.
As long as your character is consistent, that's really all that matters. And I think that Tiffany's character is just not consistent. First, she was a heel. It went okay. Then she wanted to become more of a babyface. Then she did heely things, and then that was poorly translated. Then she tried to become a babyface, and that just didn't work at all. Like, no one believes you as a babyface because you have the look of a heel. Again, you're a really pretty woman, so you have the look of a heel. You should be flaunting that and making that more vocal, but that's not what we got. She was doing like the smiling and the generic good girl wave and all that stuff. It just wasn't working.
I think she tried to do that to lean into the whole egotistical thing, but she can't really talk.
Yeah,
Like,
the
she
character
doesn't
could
have
have
the
worked.
charisma.
The character could have worked. With the right charisma, it could have worked. For sure. So,
You know what? You know what I think the problem was?
what?
But
In NXT, she actually had promos. Like, she had promos, like on screen promos instead of like actually talking in front of a crowd. I thought they should have did more of that
Mm-hmm.
instead of actually going out there and trying to have promo battles. So I don't think that's her role. I don't think she can. She's not really good at that.
did they give her any of that?
What, promo battles?
No. Like the other promo stuff you were talking
Oh,
about.
promo, like on-screen promos. No, they haven't really given her many on-screen promos. I feel like that would have suited her better.
I mean, well, you think about it, she had one with Charlotte, and it just went so poorly.
Yeah, but that was a promo battle, though. Still, it was a battle.
They were going back and forth. Yeah.
So I think that they should have stuck away from the battles and just more so just focused on her as a character, and that would have suited her much better, and she probably would have had a more successful reign.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think the Buff Barbie character was a lot better than the It's Tiffy Time character.
Yeah, I think so. The Buff Barbie character definitely would have worked. She was more. She stood out more. She had more muscle mass, and she actually tried to be the Buff Barbie. It actually worked because it was a character of some kind. Then they saw that she could appeal to a wider market if she was thinner, more put together, and so on and so forth. They changed it from the Buff Barber to just the Tiffy Time character, and it has not been smooth at all. It's not been smooth transition. It's night and day. Night and day.
Not
So while Ray, I get that you were very positive, her title reign was not good. I can't give her props for it. I'm just glad it's over, really. And while I don't believe she was fed to the wolves or that she had anything like that or that the meaningless storylines, again, you can tell a storyline off anything. Right? It was a storyline where Sami Zayn was a conspiracy theorist and he ended up fighting the guy from Jackass. So it's like, we still talk about it, right? It was still interesting.
Right.
Like,
yeah. Character will carry you far.
Like there was a storyline where the WWE audience wanted a guy with no chin to become world champion. It was entirely meaningless, but it still worked.
It was great.
It was. But
One of the best storylines of 2016.
it was fantastic, bro. I loved it. But she was dull. It was dull. Like, as long as you have good stars involved in meaningless storyline, you turn meaningless storyline to a very meaningful one very fast.
Damien Sandow did it.
He did it.
Cody Rhodes did it.
He was the Miz's stunt double, and he was over.
Yeah.
It happens. It happens. Doesn't have to be so well thought out, but it's on you as the talent to make it translate to the audience. The fact that we are talking about the fact that we're talking about the writers so much is bad. Good writers do not ever have to be spoken about ever, because they fade into the background as the talent begins to sell the story. They don't have to do it.
As they're supposed to.
The fact that we keep bringing up who's booking and who's writing is a bad thing. It's a very bad thing. So I hope that this becomes something we don't have to talk about anymore. But Pip, do you have any closing statements?
My closing statements is get some acting chops. It'll definitely save her in the future, save her in the long run. Because I don't even know. Honestly, the biggest issue, I can't even think of what she's gonna do now that she don't got the title no more. That's bad.
See, and you
Like,
mentioned
that's real bad.
See, you mentioned acting chops. You mentioned acting chops, right? Let me tell you something. Stephanie Valcour was taking English classes to be better prepared for her role as champion. Elle and I spoke about the language barrier in WWE. You know who doesn't speak good English? Penta. You know who that affects? Not Penta.
True.
That doesn't affect him at all. He doesn't have to speak a lick of English to tell everyone exactly how you need to feel about him.
Exactly.
Stephanie and Penta do not speak our native language, but they are still able to translate well to the audience. And if they can't, they try. I don't think Tiffany tries. And that's another factor I feel as though when you talk about lazy performers that aren't trying to improve. That's something else you guys should look forward to. But anyway, guys, I am Jen. That's L. That's Pip. We're DBW. Woo!
Woo!
We will see you next time. Bye-bye.